All right, seeing none, Cheryl, you're our first presenter.
Good morning, everyone. How are we?
We are good.
Can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Great. So just coming back, I was before you guys maybe 6 weeks ago or so with an application for the Western Region grant that's provided through the Montana Board of Crime Control. It supports secure detention and non-secure detention costs. Missoula County administers the grant for 5 other counties, and we were awarded the grant. And so just coming back with the award and request that Juanita sign the award notice and the special conditions page. The award is in the amount of $57,592.21, and then we'll also receive an administrative fee of $1,567 and change for administering that for the other agencies.
And why do I sign it?
You signed the application, and unfortunately it has to stay consistent or we have to redo an entire signature page. So
sorry,
because you signed the application, you get to sign the award.
Can I motion that I sign it? That I sign this reward? I mean, it's just you and me, Josh. So
I guess we should do that.
I motion that the board approve that, or that authorizes me to sign the award notice. Thanks, Cheryl.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, all right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Thanks for calling in.
Bye-bye.
Next up is Emily Brock.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. We're in the middle of the fair, so things are pretty crazy. But I wanted to get this item checked off. So this is a amendment to the MOU with the city on the Playfair Trail, and it has to do with just the maintenance of the asphalt of it. There was some sort of discrepancy between the way that the parks manual was interpreted as to if soil sterilant needed to be put down on an existing path that already had base rock and had already been treated, and so it didn't get put down, and they would like us to maintain the asphalt just for 5 years to just in case there's an issue. I don't think there will be. There's no weeds at all right now, and usually those weeds would come in the first year, and so it's been about a year, and so we felt like, Donna and I felt like this was just the easiest way to deal with it. Other options were ripping it all up and putting down soil sterilant. And then there's just a number of ways to deal with it. But we just thought, since there's probably not going to be an issue, my crew can do the asphalt maintenance for the first 5 years, and then we'll pass it off.
Sounds good.
Sorry, I have to find the screen. I agree, sounds good. So I move to approve the amended agreement for maintenance on Playfair Trail.
All right, all in favor?
Aye. How is fair going?
It's going great. Today is beef day.
Beef day.
Yeah.
All right.
So yesterday we had hogs. We have 70 families and about 160 animals today. So.
Wow. Any contentious judging moments?
No, not really. The judges, I mean, besides when we had to tell a judge that he couldn't fist bump the kids, but he was okay with that.
Good.
So yeah, I think everything's going good. People are following the rules, and
that's great.
It's been a long week. It'll all be over on Saturday, so a couple more days.
Nice job.
Yeah, thanks. And so great that even amidst all this, these events can happen for the kids who are raising these animals.
Yeah, it's awesome. And risk and benefits and the health department worked with us a lot on our planning. And so now it's just a matter of staying on top of people and making sure they follow the rules, which 4-H is, they're good at, they follow rules. They're good kids.
Good. Bet.
Did we vote, Josh?
Not yet.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Good call.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thanks, Emily. Good luck.
All right, Gina, you're up next.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Full disclosure, my computer crashed this morning.
No.
I am trying to do this on my phone. I'm glad you can hear me. But I'm kind of presenting this on Shannon's behalf, who is out today, and I don't have the PSA in front of me, though I have read it, so I'm going to do my best with any questions. But this is a request to approve a professional services agreement with Staggs Painting, which could possibly be Skaggs Painting, but like I say, I don't have the PSA in front of me. For the amount, which was about $37,000, the amount in the PSA. I guess a little bit of background is that the whole junk vehicle yard surrounded by a nice sturdy wooden fence, but it needs maintenance. The inside has never been stained. And the outside was stained about 10 years ago. I do have some pictures that I could email to you if you're interested, but that's about all I got. That's a request to approve that agreement.
Let's get it done. I move to approve the professional service agreement with Staggs or Skaggs or Sags.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks. Thanks, Gina.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.
All right, Shane Stack.
Good morning.
Hey.
Yeah, so County Line Road, let me share my screen and kind of give you an idea of where this is at, just so you have some perspective. I'll tell you, I guess, a little story and be brief. So County Line Road is just right on the border with Ravalli County and Missoula County, and here's Highway 93 off to the right, and then Old 93 south off to the left. So Ravalli County is going to resurface Old Highway 93 south, probably I think from the county line all the way to Florence. And they got a hold of us and said, hey, since we're going to be out there, would you like us to do County Line Road? They actually get a lot of complaints about the condition. It's hard to see, but it's actually pretty potholed and in pretty poor shape. So they're going to manage the contract, and they're just going to invoice us to do the work. It's going to probably be in the neighborhood of around $24,000. We'll use BARSA funds to cover the cost, and they expect to be doing the work in August. So they'll do inspection, and so we just pay them money, they do the work.
How easy.
Very easy. So we just need to sign the agreement and get it back to them.
Thanks. I move to approve the county interlocal agreement between Ravalli and Missoula County for the paving of County Line Road.
Excellent. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. Thanks, Shane.
Yeah, thank you.
Andrew, you're up next to talk about the fairgrounds.
Well, yeah, let me. Thank you. Yeah, what I'm requesting today is an extension of the existing bond anticipation note that we took out last June for the fairgrounds. That's a note we issued before placing some bonds in the market. We anticipate coming up with a $15 million bond issuance later in the year, but the existing band's note expires this Monday, so we needed to get that extended. Otherwise, we would have to come up with the $6.7 million without having done the bond issuance. So what I'd like to do is ask the board to consider authorizing a 6-month extension on the bond anticipation note. Within that time, we will be in the marketplace to sell bonds, and we will take this note out at par on any day within it without any interest or penalty beyond that date.
So all this is basically a notice saying we're planning on doing this.
Well, it's, yep, we've spent about $6 million at the time that we had took this note out. So we borrowed that money from the bank in the form of a bond anticipation note. And that note is now come due again. And so we're asking for an extension of we're paying interest, 2.8% interest to First Security Bank until we get into the market and sell bonds. Once the bonds are sold,
that pays the bank back.
That pays the bank back and then gets the additional funds for Emily to complete the reconstruction of the fairgrounds.
Great, sounds good.
And I just have a couple of corrections in the actual motion. And both those numbers, the 14,000,005 and the 6.266, should actually be 6,267,000. The actual accompanying resolution is correct, but the recommended action is incorrect.
And what about the 14.5?
They both should be the 6,267,000.
Okay. I motion the board approve the chair sign the resolution relating to at least 6,267,000 Missoula County Fairground District Special Assessment Revenue Bonds. And the 6,267,000 Fairground District Special Assessment Revenue Refunding Bond Anticipation Notes to be issued.
That's difficult bond council language.
Good. Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew.
You're welcome.
Cool. So we have some correspondence. The first one up is around a letter clarifying duties and a reminder of an MOU to the Sealy Lake Sewer Board.
That would be Deb Bell. Are you on the line, Deb?
Yep, I'm here. Sorry, I was having some technical difficulties there. So this is a letter to the Sealy Lake Sewer Board, just as a friendly reminder regarding our memorandum of understanding with them in regards to the services that we are providing to them as well as staff.
I'm trying to find the letter.
Are you looking at the letter?
Yeah. Can you see my looking
I'm not sure where it's at because I know there was a final draft that had been sent to various reviewers.
The one I'm looking at has bruised and it's not clean, but I can read it.
Deb, could you just, because I can't see it right now, just describe what those clarifications of duties are?
Sure. The clarifications of duties for Kim is that she is there to provide assistance to the Sealy Lake Sewer Board. She is not there to provide legal advice. She is responsible for the tax rolls and making sure that things run smoothly for the administrative side of things, but she is to be treated, with all due respect and to assist them, but is not there mainly for legal consultation, and that they should seek the advice of their attorney for that.
Great. I remember having this discussion.
Yep, it just
recall that discussion.
Pretty clear. Please do not ask Kim for legal advice, and please treat her with all due respect. If you have questions or comments, please feel free to contact the Missoula Board of County Commissioners.
Perfect. Yeah. Great. Thanks for putting that together.
I apologize. I apologize. I thought everyone had a copy of that in front of them.
We do. I only have one screen and it's hard for me to like get to whatever I
I'm in a similar boat. I have one screen and I can't look at more than two things. It all falls apart.
I'm in the same boat, so hey.
We're being flexible and adaptive. So.
Yep.
Well, thanks.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay, so this next one is on these letters to our congressional delegation in support of the Relief Act.
So commissioners will recall we had to send these the other day. So this is just the notice piece for this. This is an act, a bipartisan act that Senator Daines is working on for small business loans. Employees, if I remember correctly, companies that employ somewhere between 1 and about 20-ish workers, again, trying to help during this period of time being run through the CDBG program. So the money would come directly to the city as an entitlement city and then through Missoula County through a grant application at the state. And then, oh, sorry, Josh, yeah.
No, I was just scratching my hand.
I'm sorry, it looked like you're raising your hand.
It looked like our hand raising.
I was like, you don't have to raise your hand to ask a question, but okay. Then also, given how quickly things are moving at the federal government, we also have letters for you today to Senator Daines and Tester around the deal that's being worked out in Congress. Whether it will be based off the HEALS Act or the House version of that, we're not really sure, but we wanted to cover some of those. So with your permission, I'll throw that letter up on the screen here for folks to see. And then I know Andrew would like to, to kind of help us get through that. So I'll
thank you.
Put that up on the screen here. I'm just putting up the letter to Senator Tester. There's obviously a similar one to Senator Daines as well. So Andrew, I'll let you, if you want to kind of talk about the general concerns you have, and then I can, then we can walk through kind of what's there.
Sure. I guess first and foremost, this HEALS legislation does not provide any additional funding to the state or to local governments. And that's a concern of ours because we're incurring substantial expenses going through this process, especially with the contact tracing and the testing expenses. Secondly, the current legislation extends the deadline for the spending of the CARES Act and does not provide direct allocations to communities with under 500,000 people. So the extension of the deadline will be 90 days past the federal fiscal 21 year end, which puts it in December of 2021. So our concern is that it will really slow the process down and the reimbursement to local governments down. It also allows for revenue replacement, but that's only after 25% of the 1.25 billion has been distributed to local counties or local governments. And then the revenue replacement will go into effect for the state. And our concern is that it would slow the distribution of the CARES Act funds to local governments, specifically counties. Can you scroll down a little, Chris? And then it does, there's one part of the act we actually like. It adopts the current Treasury guidance, and it says that the states cannot deviate from that and put any hurdles of their own in our way to access those CARES funds. So that's a very good piece of the puzzle. It does include $300 billion in supplemental appropriations for programs of interest to the county, is how it's reads right now, but we're not sure what the mechanism is for accessing those supplemental funds. There is $16 billion for COVID-19 testing and tracking and response efforts, and that's a big plus if we're able to access that money. That would be fantastic. So those are our concerns and our the things that we're in favor of as well.
So I think, commissioners, what we tried to do, knowing that the legislation is fluid, is capture Andrew's concerns there and also remind them of things that they might look to. So we, talk about the fact that currently there's no additional funding in our first section of that, and a request for there to be additional funding allocated to states and local governments, especially in the areas needed, since we're on the front lines of response, right? It's the local health departments who are kind of the lift for this. Second piece, we reminded them that there is no direct allocations to communities with under 500,000 people, as Andrew mentioned, and so that means that we can't be as flexible as we would like to be. So we would like to encourage them to look for that. We did call out in here that we feel really fortunate, again, that we have a great, strong partnership with the state. We've had, very good conversations with Director Livers and the governor's office, but that direct funding still remains a considerable challenge for us. Third main thing we wanted to hit, again, not knowing exactly how the final legislation would come out, was directly around that piece for revenue replacement that Andrew mentioned. And so what we said is, the current legislation that's proposed has that revenue replacement piece in it. We would want to see them provide new funding to address revenue replacement rather than take money from our existing CARES Act, which is really geared towards the response, because we think we need that response money to be that way. And so we would prefer to see them come up with a different pot of money if they're going to address revenue replacement rather than using CARES Act allocations as part of that. And then the last two kind of mirror exactly what Andrew was talking about. We appreciate the Treasury guidance being incorporated to provide greater flexibility in those that $300 billion of supplemental appropriations that's in areas that are of interest, but doesn't really directly say how that money is going to be allocated or spent. And then thank them for their continuing work, and then is signed by the commission.
Great.
Great.
It's a good letter.
Yeah, Andrew did a great job, and then I butchered it just a little bit, and then Allison and Sarah made it sound really good again. So that's the great thing. It's a good team effort.
And this
but
happened.
they did great work.
And this all happened between 11 o'clock last night and 6 a.m. this morning. So you guys are pretty impressive.
Yeah,
They did. The Congress yesterday said that they believe they would have a deal by Friday. So again, that's why we're asking for signatures today, and we'll notice on Tuesday, because we don't know that we have until Tuesday in order to get something off to our delegation. So
great.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So discussion items. This first one, well, it looks like a legal thing. There's a V in it.
Good morning, commissioners. I'm giving you notice that Wells Fargo has filed a lawsuit against Tyler Granant in his official capacity as the treasurer in Zinvest LLC out of Billings, Montana. In summary, in 2017, Zinvest tried to redeem or successfully redeem 2 properties that went up for a tax deed sale. And ultimately, the clerk and recorder's office recorded those deeds, transferring 2 parcels to Zinvest. Wells Fargo is claiming that Zinvest gave them deficient notice. I gave Wells Fargo deficient notice about the sale. Had Wells Fargo known, they would have redeemed the properties. And by his duties in recording the deeds, that's why Tyler's been brought into this lawsuit. As it stands right now, myself and Anna will be handling this lawsuit for Tyler's participation in it. We have the capacity to defend, and we will do so. We are slated to answer it by September 4th. We're going to be discussing with Tyler what did transpire on our end, and ultimately we'll speak with the attorneys for Wells Fargo. Again, in sum, what Wells Fargo is trying to do is void the transfer of the properties from the original owners to Zinvest and put it into Wells Fargo's name.
All right.
Thanks for defending.
Yeah. Happy to answer any questions you may have about it, but that's about the sum that we know to date.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you guys have capacity to take it on.
I'm sorry, what was the date of this? When did this action happen?
Transpired in August of 2017, 3 years ago.
Wow. Okay.
Seems like it took them a while to get this mad.
Yes.
All right. Do we have someone to talk to us about the library?
Hi, commissioners. We do not. I emailed Honor, but they have a lot going on right now, so she probably didn't see my email reminder. We had set this up for discussion for your update, but I will reschedule.
Okay.
Okay. It's not a big deal. And we get to appoint a board member to the Big Sky Passenger Rail Authority.
I wonder who.
Who could it be? I don't know. I don't know who this one should be. Do you want to go on? I don't know. I'm pretty full. Do you want to?
I think maybe the guy who's not here.
Let's stick it with Strohmeyer.
So this is Dory. Do you want me to talk about this? Because
Sure.
I put it on the agenda.
Sure. Absolutely.
So today's not the appointment. What we realized, it's discussion, is that the commission hadn't talked about how to appoint, whether it follows sort of that board procedure. Do we need to put out notice? And so the idea is today is that you kind of talk about the procedure, and then in 2 weeks, I believe, is when the actual appointment will be made. Okay. Assuming, depending on what you decide about the procedure, if it's a recommendation that the procedure be at this point that it be an appointed commissioner for this first term, and then if in the future the commission wanted to adopt a different procedure, like things are going really well, we want to appoint a community member, you could do that in the next term. But at this point, just wanted to have the discussion to see if there's any different opinions, or if in 2 weeks you want to appoint a commissioner.
That all makes sense to me. The flexibility and the structure makes sense to me.
Okay, great. And then Sarah can put it on the list.
Yeah, we'll appoint a commissioner in 2 weeks, and then 10 years from now, and things are just going real smoothly, a community member can do it.
Great, thank you.
All right. Any other communications needs, requests?
I don't believe so. I think Allison was having internet issues, so.
Okay. Adrian, are you on?
And Adrian had to leave to go to another meeting, so, and she didn't have anything either.
Nothing on tsunamis, ball lightning, super
Locusts.
Locusts. Locusts, we have not yet had locusts.
Hey, I have a quick question about this afternoon. I wasn't here for the Lindbergh Lake Bridge situation, so all we're doing is just hearing comments, right? There's no discussion, correct?
John, I thought John was going to bringing us something, but I don't. That was my understanding, that they'd come to some agreement, and I thought we were going to pass the resolution, but I could have that wrong.
I'm sorry to say, I don't know. John's not on today, and he didn't mention anything about it.
What he has on the agenda is request board hear objections to the final adoption to resolution 2020-077. So yeah, I think you're hearing final comments and whatnot. And
okay.
We're hearing objections to the resolution.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Great. Good job, Juan. You got it right.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
That's all I had.
Okay. So who is Martin on the line?
I don't believe we have any members of the media currently that I've seen.
Okay. All right. So I have a
It's recorded. It's recorded, Josh.
Just a reminder, we record these. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. How did the meeting go this morning on winter shelter?
Good. And April seat with Hope Rescue Mission is getting some information together about the kind of like needs about cleanup, like what sort of equipment, capacity, hours, whatever. So she's gonna have that written up in a week or so. So and share that with folks. So then we can help.
Okay, good. I talked to Travis this morning just because out of curiosity because they're the ones that issued this notice of violation, and that he kept stressing, well, MDT is on the hook to do this cleanup, and I wondered, given, and Chris heard this too with the governor yesterday, that it sounds like there might be CARES money available for dealing with some of the cleanup. And when I think cleanup of this area, it isn't just literally taking the bad stuff out. It's creating some structures such that between now and November, it doesn't become a mess again. And so I guess this is an open question. It's sort of on MDT, but it's way beyond the scope of what MDT typically does, which I think is probably partially responsible for their not reluctance to address the problem, but just it's difficult. It's not what they typically do. So is there a role for us? What role can we play? Could we access CARES money and engage a contractor to do this cleanup work? Or are we taking on what MDT should be doing? Or how do we facilitate moving all this forward?
Yeah, I think April is working on that. I mean, she has a plan, and I think my understanding is that as soon as it's shared with us, we can start on and do this kind of a larger cleanup and perhaps access those funds. And then her work on the ground will be there to like do that community work and that culture building so that folks will maintain and have the culture and the incentives to maintain. There's already people living down there that have the kind of capacity to step into those roles of being the community maintainers because they already kind of keep their spaces. But we just need help with this like first initial massive cleanup. And I guess she's working on crafting what they need, the equipment, the people, whatever. And I feel like as soon as we know that, then we can help.
Okay.
And I think you'll be able to offer Martin that information this afternoon when you're on, because you're speaking to him this afternoon with Aaron and Ginny, I believe. So that'll be good info to share.
Here in Travis talk this morning, he was he has the understanding that MDT is going to do this cleanup. The notice of violation date, I think, is in like October 2nd, somewhere in there, if I got that right. So we should make sure that April and MDT are coordinating.
Yep.
Given that he made it sound like MDT is under the expectation that they're going to do it. And in fact, 10 years ago, they did a small version of this, and they hired a contractor from Helena who specialized in this type of cleanup or could handle this type of cleanup, and it cost about $10,000. And they have to get equipment in there going through the old Monrock plant or diversified materials. And you also have to get a 124 permit from FWP. So it's a big deal because we're messing with the riparian area. And I'm only bringing this up because it may be beyond what April has done in the past with garbage bags. And she may also be being not at cross purposes, but kind of simultaneously to what MDT is doing. So we might want to, maybe we could play a role of convening all these folks to make sure that this effort is coordinated, thorough, and permitted, and that as soon as the cleanup part is done, I hope that we can get in there with some bathrooms and dumpsters that are closer to the people so that come November, when the fence is most likely going to go up and when this shelter is most likely available, we won't be facing a similar cleanup.
Yep.
Like was that too rambling to?
No, and Bob and April, we're gonna get together later today. Okay. So, yeah.
And if you want, I'm sure Travis would be fully excited to tell April and you and Bob the same stuff. So if it would be helpful, he's so fluent in this. So far, the most fluent person I've spoken to about this cleanup.
Great.
Go Travis.
Yeah.
Travis.
Yeah, right?
All right. Well, so, I mean, I think, Juan, you keep playing the lead on this, and whatever way we can play a role to make it happen. And I'm more enthusiastic given what I heard the governor say yesterday, that I think if we were to step into this and find out how much it would cost, I think we could ask for that money and kind of be the entity that's pushing it, given that this is sort of beyond MDT's scope and I think maybe beyond April's in a small sense. For sure, she's the authority on the culture down there, but there may be a role for us to play in coordination and gathering money.
Yeah. Oh, Sarah has her hand up.
Sorry, I thought you were done with that discussion, so mine is on something else whenever you're done with that.
I would just add, Juan, that it'd be good to, I mean, Martin checks admin meetings regularly on our YouTube, so you can refer him to this and your conversation with him today.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to, when I was nervous about media, I wanted to be able to speak this with it not being fully baked.
Right.
Josh, I think you're right. Once we get the final costs, we should have a discussion with the budget director, Tom Livers, and see if
yes, exactly.
Direct
because the governor was mildly optimistic and positive and seemed to understand the situation we're in. And I think I left that conversation feeling like there was room there.
Oh, good.
Okay, Sarah.
Yeah. One last bit in this. So Anne or Chris, do you guys have any input on how best to proceed on the coordinating convening, or Juan, do you feel like we just let April go and we'll see how it shakes out? Or?
I want to check in with Bob and April and Teresa all at the same time.
Okay.
So I'll have an opportunity to do that later today and just like ask that same question right there, and like ask the county is ready to play a convening role, and we're ready to move forward. And I can circle back with Travis too, and
you know, Aaron and Teresa work really closely with these folks, so they're going to be the first tie-in.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's frustrating that there is a lot of work being done behind the scenes, underground, whatever, and it's like you said, it's not, things aren't fully baked yet, and it's so yes, it can be frustrating. So we're moving forward. Okay.
Yeah, and I guess we'll know soon from the governors, from Livers, hopefully, if we can get money for this, and maybe that'll be a new piece of information.
Yeah. So how does that work? Do we just check?
Chris, what do you think on that? What's your opinion?
Generally, we make Andrew the person to call Tom.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. Andrew, do you want to call Tom and ask him?
Yeah. I mean, did you want me to wait until we have numbers to provide him, or?
Yeah, we have to give him something, right?
So Travis was guesstimating in the $30,000 to $50,000 range.
Okay. So would you like me to call him and ask him about the $50,000?
Yeah,
sure.
That would be great. That would be great.
I'll do it.
I mean, I'm wondering, should Andrew have that sort of technical conversation with Travis? Would that make more sense?
Yeah. It'd be good to have some background. Maybe that would be
good.
Andrew,
call Travis and then then
Okay.
call members on Monday.
Okay.
What do you guys think of that?
That's, I mean, that sounds great. Then you'll hear straightly from Travis instead of via me.
Yeah, and I can say that the governor seemed supportive of this effort.
Yeah, he was optimistic and open. Didn't say yes, but it wasn't like no way at all. He was empathetic and fully got that. Were it not for COVID, we wouldn't have a village by the river right now. We would have a small amount of people.
Okay, got it.
And then also today, Teresa shared some kind of grim stats is that there's like veteran homelessness is on the rise, which wasn't the case like a month ago, 6 weeks ago. Like it's grim.
Yeah.
So what Travis was basically saying to me was that 10 years ago it was $10,000. The same thing would probably be 30 now. And then you add in that it's quite a bit bigger, and that's how we got to the 50.
Okay.
Yeah, I think some of this background information, some detail on the homeless numbers and some of the other technical details I don't have would be very helpful before I talk to Tom Livers.
Okay. I'll get you whatever I've gleaned today and yeah, go ahead, call Travis and get it straight from him.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Oh, Andrew.
Thanks, Andrew.
You bet.
And good luck selling your house.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, Sarah, sorry.
Yeah.
No worries. Just real quick, Josh, I wanted to make sure that you got the Zoom link for tonight's Public Service Academy. And that you know.
Yeah.
It's an individual link to you only, and hopefully a public meeting will be done at 4:30, but from 4:30 to 5, they're going to make sure all the speakers can log on and be ready to present at 5. So I wanted to make sure that you saw that email. I sent it to you as well as Sarah Renfrey. So.
Okay, I will check right now. So it's different than it's not off the calendar. It's off the email.
It's in your email. Yep, it's a specific link to you personally. Every speaker has their own link so that it shows that your name and everything on it.
Got it. Okay. Well, I'll look right after this.
Okay.
Thank you.
Commissioners, I just had one thing. I didn't know if you had any specific topics you wanted to add to your agenda with the sheriff later this month. So if you could be thinking about that and then just email those to me so that I can make sure they get on your admin or your monthly meeting with the sheriff, just in case there were specific things.
Okay.
Right. Thank you.
That would be great. Thank you.
All right, then I think we are probably done.
Awesome. Thanks,
Good.
everyone.
Thank you all. All right. See ya.
Josh, is there